What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be my final mock draft. Draft is tomorrow. Really excited for this. One of the best times of the year. Plus, we got free agency next Sunday. Definitely going to have a video out for that. Just kind of predictions, fits, all that. And of course, we got Summer League coming up in 2 weeks. Or after the draft, it'll be around 2.5 weeks, maybe 3. So, really exciting time for the NBA right now, even out of season. But without further ado, first overall. I'm gonna go with the Hawks, switching it up a little bit, going with Klingon. From what I've read, this seems to be their top guy. Obviously, you will never know. This could be a smokescreen. They could just end up going with Alex Sarr. That's what I would do personally. But in this one, I'm kind of balancing between what I would do and what I think is going to happen. And what I think is going to happen is Klingon. But obviously, the pros are there. Defensive anchor, he's 7'2". Really a pure center, lob threat, physical, good rebounder. For his comp, I put Walker Kessler. Not a floor spacer yet. I know he hit one in college. I forget how many he hit, but he himself says he can shoot. He says he's a good passer, especially like out of the short roll or something, or in plays like that. That's where I'd like to see him kind of grow and continue to grow. I know he's from what he said in his interview on NBA TV. I watched it last night. He said he's coachable. He works hard. He's a competitor, and he's got winning. He's got a winning mindset with a winning background. So, and especially coming from UConn. So, Hawks, Donovan Klingon there. I think would be a good fit, especially alongside Trae Young. I could see Dejounte Murray getting shipped out soon, or honestly, it could happen tomorrow night. So I think Klingon would really fit well with Trae Young, whether it's sitting behind Capella, whether it's him starting and then trading Capella. I think the Hawks are trying to find a direction, and I think Klingon can bring an identity, especially on defense. Second overall, I'm going to go with the hybrid power forward, Alex Sarr from France. The upside, versatility, he has a rare skill set for his size. Moves really well. He moves his feet well. Obviously, he's my top guy on my big board. I would have gone number 1, like I said, but he ends up falling to 2 here. This would really help Washington can try and build an identity, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And I don't know. I'd really be excited to see what this guy brings. I said Evan Mobley for his comp. He's kind of got a slower release from 3, but he's hit a few. So the upside is there. The experience, physicality, that's another part I would kind of hope to see from him, and that kind of goes hand in hand considering experience, physicality. He'll be able to play much stronger, at least by year 2, year 3. I think we could see him really starting to grow a little bit more. So Alex Sarr, Washington at 3. We're going to go Reed Shepard, sniper. Sharpshooting combo guard is what I got down for him. One of the older one-and-done guys, but he is going to make an impact. He's one of the better shooting prospects that I've seen over the past couple of years, really. And the only really concern is his size. I know I have stocks and defensive questions as a strength and a weakness, but that really just goes with the size. But he makes plays defensively. I'm not totally worried about it completely, but he's good out of the pick and roll when he's handling it. Really finds his teammates, has a high IQ, high feel, off-ball mover. He's had like a 42-inch vertical, so maybe we'll see that a little bit more. But I think that'd be a really good fit with Houston needing shooting, and then even some depth and possibly just insurance at the backup position for point guard. Dante DiVincenzo was what came to mind for me. JJ Redick is another one. I think it's more a combo because Redick was really just a shooter, but Shepard has a lot more to offer. At 4, Risa Shea falls to San Antonio. This was a match made in heaven. Versatile 3-and-D wing who has the upside to possibly become a little bit of a scorer. He's a decent athlete. I didn't really want to. His athleticism not really a true weakness, but it's definitely not super crazy. But he's good in transition play. He's a good spot up shooter. He's versatile on defense. Moves his feet well. He's 6'10", 195, so that's really ideal size for a 3-and-D guy, and he can busting moves well. So I'd like to see him hit the pull up a little bit more, get to the basket a little bit better, whether it's off the dribble. And he does well off of closeouts, but it's usually bad closeouts. I'd like to see how he does it at the NBA level. And then, of course, guarding NBA size, athleticism, and strength. So he's another high upside guy, but you got to surround Wembanyama with shooting. And this guy could really do it. I could see them moving on from a guy like Keldon Johnson, San Antonio. So I think that'd be really good. Harrison Barnes is by comparison. Thought that was a pretty good one. At 5, got my first trade. I've read a little bit about Chicago possibly trading up. This was a little while ago, but honestly, who knows what's going to happen. But I thought I'd get a little bit creative. Matas Buzelis to Chicago, kind of the Franz type. This would be interesting considering that Chicago traded away their first round pick, which ended up being Franz Wagner for Orlando. And then in this mock draft, I had them getting their own kind of version of him. This guy has a lot of room to grow, though. But the flashes are there. The versatility, help side block, or help side rim protection is a little bit there. He's not super strong yet. Kind of turnover prone. Um, not the best handle yet, but there are flashes of him scoring in a few different ways. But in the beginning, I think he'll be a good cutter. He's athletic. He's actually really athletic. That's one of the more underrated things about him. But is one of the highest, probably the highest upside, at least off it, or not even offensively, but maybe in the class. But he definitely has the potential to, if he ends up in Chicago, to really spark a rebuild there and just continue to build with youth. At 6, excuse me, I got Stephon Castle. I put down glue guy for him. 6'6" combo wing guard, whatever you want to call him. He's young. He dealt with some adversity during the season, but UConn, of course, found a way to really use him in a perfect way, and it worked perfectly. It was awesome to watch. The perimeter defense, transition play, cutting, IQ, the feel, the passing. Like he did it just about everything except for really shoot the ball at a high clip or really create a shot at a high level. But he would hit timely threes, especially during the tournament. So I'm a believer in the jumper long term, at least as long as he's with the right coaching staff, which Charlotte is solid, but obviously it's just more reps and reps and reps. And then the desire to only play point guard. I wonder how true that report is. In one interview I just listened to the other day, he said just how versatile he is. So I'm not entirely in on him saying that he only wants to play point guard, but I would like to see how the NBA, with the NBA spacing, is how he is able to showcase more of his ability, which I think he's got a lot more than we think. So Stephon Castle, my confidant was Anthony Black, just versatile guys, kind of the versatile point guard, shooting guard, wing, whatever you want to call him. I thought that was a pretty fair one. I think he can fill in that type of role for Charlotte in the short term and hopefully long run for them. At 8 or 7, excuse me, I wouldn't do this. I would not do this, but it's what I think could happen. It's Cody Williams from Colorado, 6'8", 175, potential 3-and-D slasher is what I got down for him. But there are things to like about him. He's very gifted. He's a good mover. He's a pretty good defender on the perimeter. Moves his feet pretty well. He's a good cutter. Finishes at the rim really well when it's above the rim. Although he does not, he struggles with the strength. The shooting right now the numbers are very misleading. And then shot creation is not really there yet. But he had a good interview with the NBA TV guy that I was listening to, and he said Jaden McDaniels was the guy that he watches, which that was my previous comp for him. But this is kind of more of a low-end guy. Zaire Williams is kind of what I see as well. But Portland is in need of wings. I think this would be a pretty good fit for them. So I think that would be pretty good. 8, I guess a surprise, two-way dog, Devin Carter from Providence to the Spurs, kind of fill in that point guard, combo guard role. I don't think they really necessarily need to take a true point right now, but this guy's a menace defensively. He averaged like 7 or 8 rebounds a game, and then he really improved from 3 this past year. The only problem with him, or a few problems, he's a little bit older. I don't think he's reached his full potential yet. Obviously, he's only 22, but turnovers, decision making can get a little whack. The mid range, I like to see the in between game continue to grow for him, especially with pick and rolls with Wembanyama. Guys having to come up, that would be really nice for them. My confidant was Bruce Brown, I think he can grow into a more of a point guard role though than Bruce Brown, but just the intangibles and all the other stuff is what drags me into that type of comparison for him. At 9, Dalton Connect. This is a match made in heaven. Athletic flamethrower is my kind of archetype for him. I like that. He's 6'6", 215, older guy. I still don't think he's reached his full ceiling yet, but defensively he's not very good. I need to see him use his tools more, but the off-ball scoring, athleticism, and then the scoring ability at all three levels is there. I'd like to see how the scoring arsenal translates in the NBA, but overall he's got potential to be a real contributor for Memphis next year. My comp for him is a bouncy Bogdanovic from Atlanta. I think that's a pretty good one. I think. 10, Nikola Topic from Serbia. I'm very very high on him. I think he has a chance to be the best player from this class. Um, have him going to Utah. Walking paint touch is the the archetype for him. He gets in there at will off of pick and rolls, especially off of screens. So that's going to be his game early on, and he's only 18, so that's a great sign. The injuries are the concern. I don't think he's going to play the whole for the whole first year, but I'm not super concerned about that, especially against Utah. If they trade Laurie, they're kind of just in that rebuild mode. Then they'll be in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes for next year and can just continue to building around guys like that, versatile and all that. But the rim pressure, playmaking, and then of course he's a good free throw shooter. That's a good indicator of him being a good shooter down the road. Um, Defense is not great yet, and spot up shooting. I'd like to see his feet, or just for him to be more shot ready on the catch. So really like the upside there. With Goran Dragic as the comp. This is obviously the trade from earlier. Pistons trade back technically, I guess. Maybe get a few more assets. Tijan Salah from France, one of the highest ceiling players in the class for sure. He's got the ceiling, athleticism, and defensive playmaking. And he's only 18 years old. I'd just like to see him be put in a good situation. Clearly here, this could end up being a decent one. You never know, but Detroit, not the best, not looking like the best one right now. And then just experience that kind of has to do with the consistency, the IQ, and just continue to grow is where that's how he's gonna make an impact in the NBA level. Thunder, I got Rob Dillingham. He kind of falls a little bit due to the size and the defensive or in the defense concerns, and then the shot taking was another part that I was kind of concerned with. He can get a little bit out of control, but the shot making, playmaking flashes, the creation ability is all there. That's why I put Electric down. But he's only 6'2", 165. I'd like to see how he ends up dealing with NBA defenders, especially the stronger guards. But the comp for him, really mainly Bones Highland, but I think the scoring, little microwave ability of Lou Will is pretty fair for him. So I think the Thunder that'd be a really nice fit for the Thunder, especially off the bench, just a little scoring input that he can continue to add, and continue to add another Kentucky guard like Casey Malls from last year. At 13, the Kings select Kelly Ware. He's been rising recently. Athleticism, rim protection, and then the shot confidence is there. I thought the mechanics were pretty decent. When I was watching his tape, he had a few. He shot like 40% from three. The volume's very, very low, so I'm not totally bought in on it yet. But the NBA is going to have much more spacing, and he's going to have to do it. So I believe that he's able to do that. Stretch five is the possibility. I didn't want to just write more words, so I just put stretch five down. But 7'1", 230, had a good second year in college. I'd like to see him continue to grow with a team like this. And that'd just be good depth for Sacramento, whether it's him playing alongside Sabonis or probably coming off the bench. But physicality, decision making, I'd like to see that get a little bit better. He moves really well, but just the interior presence, the traditional five stuff, with the intangibles with stuff like that, I'd like to see him get more physical. And to round out the lottery, we got Blazers taking Ron Holland. If I was any of the GMs, I would swap him and Cody Williams, I guess. But from what I've read, there's a chance he falls out of the lottery, which is honestly ridiculous. A competitive score is what I got. Really excellent on the defensive side of the ball. Showed some flashes of shot creation, and of course he's athletic. But spot up shooting, the turnovers, and then I put G League down. I haven't been super high on the G League Ignite recently. They don't have a bunch of um, great players in the NBA, right? Of course, it's still pretty young, but obviously they just got rid of it, so not looking too good for that. But maybe these guys, Bezelis, Tyler Smith, and of course Ron Holland, are able to kind of change that narrative. So we'll see what happens. Andrew Wiggins is the comparison for him. Just a three, not even the 3-and-D ability, but the athleticism, defensive side of the ball. Um, I think that's somewhat similar. The guy's only 18 too, so he's got really high upside. At 15, I got the Heat taking Isaiah Collier. He's really just a bowling ball when he's going to the rim. He's super strong, plays physical, showed some creation flashes. The shooting is where that's not it's where it's just not at a high level right now. That's where it's going to have to get better. He competes on the defensive end. I'd like to see it more consistent, where he's using his body and his quickness just to stay in front, and just using his chest. Um, but yeah, the shooting is going to be the main thing with him. If he can get that going, then I think he has star potential. Bledsoe is my comp for him, just kind of the stronger point guards who show flashes of creation, shooting, all of that. So I thought that was pretty good. 6'3", 205 is that's a large guy for a point guard. Sixers take McCain from Duke, high IQ sniper. He's a great shooter, off ball. Work ethic is what I've read with him is really, really good. 6'3", 200. That's a good size. I don't think he has a really long wingspan though, but the main things with him are creation, defensive questions. What more are we going to get out of him besides the off-ball scoring and shooting? So I'd like to see defensively. I think he's going to be okay in the beginning, and then hopefully he continues to get better. He may get targeted a little bit in the beginning, but creation wise, didn't see a lot out of it. Showed a little bit out of like handoffs, pick and rolls, but when he can get downhill, I think that's where he's going to be able to make some plays when it's not him scoring. So Seth Curry is my comp for him right now, kind of just a pure off-ball shooter, but there's nothing totally wrong with that. Philly needs it. Uh, 17, Lakers take the big man, the mountain from Purdue, Zach Edey. They need size. They need paint. They need a paint presence to help Anthony Davis out a little bit. His movement ability it got better. I would like to see it continue to get better. The footwork is actually pretty solid for his size, but definitely a few times I'd like to see him go over his other shoulder. I'd like to see him use that left hand a little bit more. I think that would really help him in the short run, and just trying to help LA out with their new coach, obviously JJ Redick, and then helping probably LeBron, AD, of course, trying to compete for a championship. Zubats is my comp for him. I think that'd be a really good guy to watch for him, and I could see him filling the shoes of that guy. 18, my Orlando Magic take Tristan da Silva. Would be stoked if they ended up with him, another German forward that you can add to that little trio. Plug and play wing. He's one of the older guys. I'd love Orlando to kind of target that instead of super young guys. But he's a really good shooter. He's versatile. And he's a good passer. He showed some scoring flashes. He's not the best with the ball in his hands. I think off the ball he'll be better, especially as a cutter or anything like that. Not a super athletic guy, but he's just smooth. So defensive questions are there. I think it's mainly the strength. He can get moved off his spot a little bit too much. I'd like to see him just continue to get stronger. That's going to come with experience as well. My comparison was Simon Fontecchio, and then of course Jaime Jaquez was a common one, which I like. At 19, Keyshawn George. I haven't been super high on him, but I think his NBA game his game fits the NBA probably a little bit better. The shooting versatility, and he's a good passer for a forward slash combo wing guard, whatever you want to call him. I'm wondering if he can put it all together though. He's kind of older for a one and done guy, 20 years old. Didn't do a bunch at Miami, but he is a good shooter. He showed tons of flashes. I would like to see him be consistent on the defensive end, and that comes with the strength as well. Kind of similar to Da Silva with him getting kind of moved out of his spots. But the upside is there. It's going to take a while. Toronto's a good development spot for him. And then, of course, Cameron Johnson was his comparison. Cavaliers take Filipowski from Duke. Floor spacer, aggressive. He's got a solid handle for his size. Kind of a versatile 4/5. Can really kind of play both positions. I see him more as a 4, um, just because he's not the best defender, especially like at the rim. Rim protection wise, he's an okay athlete. Um, I'd like to see his offensive game continue to grow a little bit. I think that would bring a lot more value. And the shooting wasn't super consistent, so I'd like to see that a little bit, see that a lot more with NBA spacing. My comparison for him is Mo Wagner. I've been saying that for a while since last year. I really like that one, and the Cavs just need depth at that big man position. Pelicans, I was kind of torn here, so I went Yves Missi from Baylor, another energetic young center athlete type of guy. He's athletic, rim protection, rebounding are kind of the main things with him. The IQ, a lot of times he was just foul, but he's really new to basketball. He's been playing since he was like 16, so it's or something like that. So it's just he's got time to get much better. And then of course passing out of the short roll, that's going to come with IQ, experience, all that, and just getting better and growing as a player. Um, I think the Pelicans would be targeting probably a shooting big. Kelly Ware is obviously gone in this situation, but obviously Ware's range is crazy. His probably starts around 13, can go all the way up to about 26. So, but Misi is pick here for me. Biombo was my comp, just a guy that's active, really energetic and athletic. So I like that one. At 22, one of my favorite players in the class, Tyler Kolek from Marquette, crafty floor general. The playmaking, pace, and the improvement as a shooter over this past year. He shot like 38% on like 6, 7 attempts a game, which is that's a really big improvement and will hopefully translate to the NBA. The size, defensive questions, and then of course athleticism are just the main concern. But offensively, he's going to be able to um, hopefully control the Suns' backups if this was the case. McConnell, a little bit of Brunson, not just because he's left-handed, but the pace that he plays with, plays off 2 feet a lot, and once he gets to his left hand, it's pretty tough to stop because he finishes really well around the rim for his size, especially going left. But I'd like to see that right hand get used a little bit more, but I really like the outlook on him. Ryan Dunn is going to go to Milwaukee at 23. This guy is a ridiculous defender. I'd have it for the comp. It's Herb Jones and Osar Thompson. It's Herb on the perimeter, Osar on the interior, just because he's a good shot blocker, good rebounder. He's a good cutter, and he's just a menace, dude. Like if you really watch him, he's super athletic and does a really good job of just hawking guys and sending shots away, chasing down people, and just sticking with guys on the perimeter. Shooting is not there at all right now. That is the main thing. Um, the handle, and then just kind of the offensive role. Like, what's it going to be? Is he going to be able to develop a jumper? Is he going to be able to affect a team's uh, or contribute to a contending team early on, even without the shooting? He's that good of a defender, one of the better ones in recent memory, but he just cannot shoot right now. So I'd like to see how he develops. 24, I got the Knicks taking Baylor Shireman from Creighton. One of my favorite players. I loved watching him at South Dakota State. It was like 2 years ago, I think. I really enjoyed his game. He's got the shooting, the feel, IQ. He's a low-key savvy scorer. He's got some real skill when he's coming off handoffs, coming off pick and rolls. He can get to the mid-range, kind of play with a little bit of pace, and he's able to create out of it too. He's a good passer. He's really just versatile on the offensive end, and he competes on the defensive end too. So I don't think it's going to be a super bad negative right now. I like to see him get a little bit stronger and then just dealing with the NBA guys. But he knows his role. A 6'7", 200. That's a good size. Joe Ingles is a really good comparison, not just because he's left-handed and white, but Ingles, if you watch it, even with Orlando, he's not as explosive as he really never was. But he's 36 now. But he did really good out of the pick and rolls with Mo Wagner, little short roll passes, and I just think the versatility he could bring to New York would be really valuable, especially on the depth side. And then back-to-back Knicks picks, of course. Tyler Smith, you can go with a little bit more upside on this one. He's a good shooter. He's versatile. He's about 6'9", 6'10". He has some real shot-making ability. He was one of the more efficient scorers in the G League, like per minute, I think. Per minute efficient scores, whatever the stat was. But He's athletic. He's not the best finisher around the rim. A lot of it are just dunks. I would like to see him get a little bit better touch with that. But the shooting, he has a really nice lefty form. So the Knicks take back-to-back lefties, continue that trend. I didn't even think about that till now. But I'd like to see him just get more consistent on the defensive end and then continue to add to his scoring a little bit. And I think he could end up being a good player down the road. Chuma Okeke was kind of my comparison for him. He was a taller 3-and-D type of guy. He played a little bit of the 4, not this past year, but the year before because Orlando was not very good. But I like the fit here with Smith. It's good depth at least, I think, and then while still sharing a good amount of upside in the long run. At 26, Wizards get a steal in Bub Carrington. I've seen a lot of mocks with him going to Orlando. I would not mind that. He's a really good pull-up shooter. I got mid-range maestro as kind of his archetype, and a bigger Lou Williams. For his comparison, obviously, those are some shoes to fill with that guy. But he's super young. He has upside. He really grew. I think even height-wise since high school, he grew like a foot in high school over like 2 or 3 years, I think. So he's just been continuing to improve. 6'4", 195 pounds is really good size for a combo guard. But he really improved as a shoot. He got better as a shooter. He showed some of the flashes there. Catch and shoot wise, I think that's where he needs to get a little bit, definitely more consistent. Decision making. He's 18. Experience is going to come, whether that's summer league, plus playing for Washington. He's going to get reps. Defensive consistency. He did really good against R.J. Davis when they played UNC. I'd like to see it just a little bit more, just a little bit more. And then, of course, the strength that's going to come with NBA training, conditioning, weight room, and all that. So I really like the outlook on him. Wizards would get a steal with him if he falls to 26. 27, Jamal Shed, one of my guys in this draft, freaking bulldog, 6'1", 200. Javon Carter was my comparison, just the defensive side of the ball especially. He's not a good shooter yet. That's where it's going to really take his game to another level. If he can even develop a jumper, hopefully he can. But defensively, he's a menace. He competes, and then of course he can get downhill really well. I think out of the screens, and then he uses his speed, quickness to get around guys. So I like to see that. The Nuggets at 28 get another steal. Deron Holmes. He's got the help side rim protection, a little bit of a handle. He's very versatile. He can probably play the 4 or 5. He's a little bit undersized. I'd like to see where he kind of plays because he's a tweener. But Nuggets know how to use guys. I'm sure they would be completely fine with it. 6'10", 235. That's good size. And he improved as a shooter this past year. He was knocking down the 3-ball. And you would think that this guy would go higher. Honestly, he probably could as high as like a team like Cleveland, or even in the mid to late teens. That's a possibility. But the improvements there, Nas Reed is my comparison for him. Yeah, I would really like to fit there with Deron Holmes. Jazz take Bobby Klintman from Sweden at 29. Another kind of a versatile guy. He's a switchable defender, plays well in transition. Showed a little bit of creation as well with his handle. Even at his size, it's really impressive. I'd just like to see him continue to get more experience, the shooting consistency, strength. Not a great athlete, but he's fluid. So kind of reminds me a little bit of Ousmane Dieng, the dude that got drafted by OKC 2 years ago now. I'd also put Nick Batum down. Just continue to add versatile forward wings is what Utah's been doing with Markin and Taylor Hendricks, guys like that. So might as well just keep adding. And then at 30 to round out the first round is the Boston Celtics taking Johnny Furphy. He'll probably go earlier. I kind of forgot about him towards the end, but he's a raw 3-and-D wing. He's Australian, which is really cool. Another younger guy, obviously a Kansas guy. I compared him to Christian Brown. I thought that was fine, but I'd just like to especially both of them are really good finishers, and this is what he was recruited to Kansas mainly for. Like he was a really good slasher. That's why they brought him in. But he was good off cuts. He was good in transition. Finished over a couple guys, posters. Not a super crazy athlete, but just efficient at the rim. But he is raw. He's young. The handle, the scoring, I don't know if that'll ever really be a thing in his game. But I like the at least a depth piece for Boston to continue to develop as they're contending for championships. And then, of course, this is round two. A couple of the picks that I like: Terrence Shannon, Illinois to Milwaukee, a terror in the open floor, super fast. 31, Jacoby Walter. I forgot about Walter. I'm not gonna lie, he can definitely go right out of the lottery or a little bit post lottery, probably in that 15 to 24 range. So kind of forgot about him, but if Raptors get him here, that's a steal. A couple other guys that I really enjoy their game: Oso Ighodaro. I love that fit there in Memphis, kind of a Trace Jackson Davis esque type of player. Pele Larson to Miami would be a real culture fit and just a 3-and-D guard. Plus, he's an older guy. They love picking the older prospects. Orlando Magic, Nikola Jurisic, one of my guys, falls here at 47. I would love this pick and love that fit because I think he can really actually turn himself into a good NBA player. Pacers get the super young guy, A.J. Johnson from the NBL. Celtics get Ulrich Kamche from the NBA Academy Africa, another high upside guy who probably has a chance to possibly be backup center for them in maybe a few years. Lakers Bronny James, Nuggets Cam Spencer from UConn, another UConn guy, Tristan Newton at 46 to the Clippers. So a bunch of the UConn guys getting selected here, and then I guess Mr. Irrelevant Trey Alexander, who can honestly make the roster for Dallas. Just another versatile guy. So that is my final mock draft. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely gonna try and get a recap video after, or probably on Friday after rounds 1 and 2. Hopefully we'll probably see a lot more trades going through, especially with teams like LA, teams like Chicago, just a bunch of stuff going on. We'll have a couple NFL videos coming out soon as well. So yeah, enjoy the draft. God bless as always. Stay safe, everybody. Appreciate it.